Good morning, Stampin' friends. Nice to see you today. I hope you're all well in your quarantine social distancing situations. I'm on here today with the fun fold card. This one may make all of our brains explode trying to figure it out. I think I have it figured out. And so we're going to see. We're going to use the Bonanza Buddies today. This is in the mini catalog. It's still available until June. And we're going to make a fun fold card that looks like this. They call this a Z fold. You see it done in different ways. I'm hoping that I can recreate it how I have it in my mind. You never know. So to get started, I have some measurements here for you. So we're going to cut this piece of white. That's going to be our background cardstock at 10 3/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to open this up here and cut it at 10 3/4. Try to stay in the camera for you. By 5 1/2. I had to write everything down because I just don't even know if I'm going to remember. All right, so that's how wide it is. You'll see. Let me just compare it and show you. There you go. Now, we're going to score it at 3 1/2 and 7. So we're going to put it in and score it at 3 1/2. And we're going to make sure the scoring thing is up here. The cutting thing is up there. 3 1/2. And then by 7. Now this next part can be a little tricky. So see my score line here? I'm going to put my score line, and this will be hard for me to show you a little bit because it's white, but I'm going to put this in my tunnel to cut. And then I'm going to angle it so that I cut in this way and cut this off. So it's going to look a little like, let me bring it over because you can't see it. I know you can't see it. This. See what I've done? And depending on how much you want to cut off will depend on your angle. There's no right or wrong again, just that you try to get your cut all the way up to your score line. So you see when I pull that down, I'm going to stop there and cut all the way down to here. All right? So hold your breath and let's go. All right. So now there's my angle. And what I'm going to do now is move this over here out of my way. Is I'm going to fold this in like this, and I'll get my bone folder in a second, and fold this back like this. And now I have a Z fold. See? There's my Z fold. Now the next step, and if I did this correctly, my measurements will be right. Let me just fold these to get these creased nicely. And you can make this fold go any way you want. I mean, if you don't want it to go this way, you can certainly do it the other way, but I wanted you to open the card like this, okay? So this measurement here is very simple. This is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4 to put a piece of paper on it. And I'm using the Designer Series paper on this one that came with the Bonanza Buddies suite. And I'm going to put that there. That's simple, right? I'm not going to adhere down just yet. Then on this one, if I measured correctly, this should also be 1, 2, 3 1/2. Can you see that? 3 1/2 this way. And then this way, it's going to be, are you with me? Can you see me? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. So I want it to be 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, which this should be. I cut these 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in and then I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to angle it down. So it's going to go like this. I'm going to go ahead and do this one just to show you. And if I don't do it right, I'll have to get another one and I'll be mad because I don't have a lot of this paper. So this is It's Your Art Out paper. Because I only had that one piece of birthday bonanza left and I really wanted to do this card. All right. And the other thing about this is you can come back and cut again. You know, there's no, but that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's that one. Then the other one should be 3 1/4 by 5. So this should still be 3 1/4 because remember we had scored it there. And this should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1/4. So we're going to cut it at 3 1/4 by 5, which is what I did. There you go. I'm going to move it up a little bit, and now I'm just going to cut off my angle once again. Okay, I just had to make sure it would go back on the paper just right. All right. And there you go. Okay, so that turned out pretty easy, right? So let's adhere that down. That should be all my cutting. I'll get that out of the way. So I hope that was as clear as mud for you. I'm sure it was for me. I want to show you my new little glue stand. I watched the Sarah Douglas where she crafted at home with her family, and one of her daughters created this. That's hot glue down in there that I adhered the lid to, and so it keeps it upside down. I know there is a lady that sells a product that keeps it upside down, and you can visit her website if you want to pay for that. I didn't want to pay for it, so I thought it was a great idea. So I'm going to just adhere this here as best I can. There you go. And then I'm going to come in with this one and do the same thing. This was easier than I expected it to be, I got to tell you. I did get the directions from a lady on Facebook, and I wish I'd written her name down so I could have told you. She actually went a step further. She had scissors, you know, the ones that have shapes and stuff in them. And she cut a patterned edge here, which was kind of pretty cool. Make sure that I put this with the balloons going the right way. I'm trying to make sure I stay in camera. I'm sorry, this is wide and I'm always moving around. Okay. There. So now when you open it, it'll be like this. Okay? So that's step 1. And I have glue in my finger now, and you know I don't like that, so. Now, these are 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, 2 1/2. And then this one is the same. Oh, yes. What we're going to do is I'm going to take some of these animals and I'm going to put them on these little squares, and I'm going to put my sentiment here. So I'm going to start with the toucan. I believe that's a toucan. I'm not an animal expert. And, well, I don't really watch the Animal Planet, so there you go. Although I should start since it's watching a lot of crazy things lately. So I'm going to put my toucan here. And I might have take my Stampin' Up! Pad here and put it here so that I make sure I get a good image. And I'm going to stamp him in Night of Navy. Looks pretty good. Okay, he turned out cute. I was going to reach up here and get my baby wipes. I went to the drugstore today because I have a fever blister and I needed that Abreva stuff. And boy, their wipes area was... Well, they had wipes, but sparse, so I may have to go back to something else. So I'm going to clean him real quick. I'm going to clean him real quick. I just left him. I'll clean him again later. And then I'm going to take, and I believe this is the koala. I'm going to call him that. This little guy. And I'm going to stamp him in basic gray. He's a cute little guy. Is he a koala? Or is he a monkey? I think he's a koala. Let's go with koala. This could be a teaching situation for you and your children. if you needed one. We have chickens, and I had a person that wanted some eggs, so I had to go out and I should have stamped that first. All right, I'll tell you what, stay right here because I'm going to be right back with gray granite. Let's see what gray granite looks like. It's a little darker, because I think a little darker might be better. See, that was quick. You can't hardly see that it's on there, I gotta say. Nope, I mean, it's a little darker, but I like the other gray better, so let's go with it. Should have gone with my first instinct anyway. Stamp, 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 stamp. And then put them right there. And there's that cutie. Now, the next thing we're going to do is on the other piece, we're going to stamp the sentiment, which says, I'm glad it's your birthday. I can tell you how wonderful you are. And we're just going to put him on the other one. So we get this out of the way. And I am going to stamp him in a memento. I say him like it's a gender situation with sentiments. Not really, but anyway. Let's get my memento here and ink this dude up. Tap, 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 tap. It looks pretty good right there. There you go. It's a little low, but I think he's okay. I'm going to leave that off because I'm going to show you one more thing I'm going to do. So, because I was going to put the sentiment here, I kind of wanted the happy birthday and there's let's celebrate you. So, I'm going to put them on top of the designer series paper stamped in memento. Let's just make sure I get this straight. Kind of straight. So I'm going to put him here down at the bottom. Okay, and it shows up really nicely. And then I'm going to get the little let's celebrate you. And I'm going to put him, it there. So let's get this. Oh, I could do that on this other one. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm in a sorry today. Let's celebrate you. And right here. Right there. I talk to myself anyway, so now that I'm alone, I can talk to myself even more. And now people don't think I'm odd. Well, they think I'm odd, but you know what I'm saying. So let's celebrate you, okay? Now, we're going to put this all together. And it's so simple. And this card is turning out so cute, and it wasn't really all that difficult at all. So, you can take the toucan and adhere him to the, that's crushed curry is what I decided to use as the backing for these little squares. You could use, I like to give you alternatives, and I'm sure your minds are whirring as well. You could have used the squares, the stitch squares on these would have looked cute. I'm going to pop these up. That's why I just laid him there. I'll turn him just a tad. And if I'm out of camera, I'm sorry. I'll be back in a second. I'll look up and see it. Just want to get him where I want him. Oh, he's just making me mad now. Okay, there he is. There's him. And then my little sentiment. Is going to go right there. Okay, so let's get some dimensionals and pop these little dudes up. This is turning out way cuter than even I thought it was gonna. This shows you how you can use bits and pieces of lots of sets to do something with them. So remember, this is It's Your Art Out, and the other is the designer paper from the the Bonanza Buddy Suite. Okay. It also gives you a cool fun fold card to do this. I think a little kid would really like this card. I don't make a lot of children's cards, and that was one of the reasons I got this set. I've stuck my thumbnail in there twice. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down here. I'm going to put him right there. Now we'll go to the next one. I just think it's a cute set. It's a boy or a girl set. There's I'll tell you some of the stuff. There's presents in here. I've seen people make a banner. There's a candle. There's balloons, and there's a set of dies that goes with this suite. I don't happen to own the dies, but I don't think you have to buy the dies to everything. I mean, that's not a good thing to be a salesman and tell somebody that, but I don't think you do. I mean, if you want to, I think it's great. But if you want to save a little money, but you want the set, then you have the set. Do I sound like I'm just going over and over and off? That would be who I am. Oops. I hope everybody's well and doing well and your families are well. The little guy looks crooked, but all right. So there it is open, and there it is shut. Now you could do a lot of things. There's some little things you could add to this if you didn't like it so white, but I kind of like it. Look how cute. I'll move over. Don't you just love it? And I'm surprised that it came out as easy as it did, because when I was working on it yesterday, I was like, okay, I can do this. This will be fine. And then I wasn't so sure. So I'm going to go over the measurements with you one more time just so you have them. That is so cute. So the card, you cut your card stock at 10 3/4 by 5.5, and then you're going to score it at 3.5 and 7. And that's going to give you this fold. Then you're going to put this in your trimmer. This is going to go in the little ditch, and then you decide the angle, your angle. Now, the paper, when you cut it like that, this is 3/4 by 5, and then you're going to cut off an angle at the top. This is 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, and you're going to cut it off at the top. And then this one, I didn't write it down, should be, again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and a half by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4. 3.5 by 5 1/4 would be this layer here. Okay? And then you just decorate it however you want it. It's the cutest card. Again, I used the Bonanza Buddies to make it, and the designer series paper here. And then this is your art. It's Your Art paper is in the annual catalog, and it's very useful for lots of things. It's one of those where if you turn the paper over, you get a whole different perspective on the paper. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you make this card. Let me know. You can always post it here or in the comments, or over on my blog at mymessyroomstamper.blogspot.com. I'll see you in about a week, okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.